Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we're looking at the fully trimmed rear seats for the Jaguar E-Type 2+2 model. Now obviously that's the 4-seater fixed head, hence why it's got rear seats. And this is a bit of a continuation video. I've done a couple of other videos before detailing the original seats before we strip them down alongside our seat covers. Then I've done a middle video which is the seats stripped down alongside some hardware pieces which you may or may not require depending on the condition of your originals. And this is the final installment, shall we say, in terms of everything being put together and trimmed. We're also going to be looking at the rear luggage floor briefly, just because it obviously ties in with the backrest, upper backrest element of that rear seat unit. It's worth noting, obviously, we haven't got the chrome runners on the main luggage floors there, and the rubber strips that go in them are separate. There is a reason for that, which I'll go into, but obviously on the backrest element there we have done. I'll explain all of that when we get to it. Before I dive on in, worth checking out the description below. I do these videos off the top of my head, and thus I may forget something, so worth checking out the description below as well. Also have links to other videos, including the videos I just mentioned in terms of the earlier versions of this particular mini-series. And also, obviously, links to our website of where to inquire about our products and services, and as well to our blog and handbook area, which is a great area of our website where we do sort of generic information about materials, colours, parts, but also a bit of a deep dive into us as a business and why we are renowned globally for our quality and workmanship, and why you should really be choosing us as your interior trim restoration supplier, because ultimately it's the least standardized area of a restoration is the interior trim. Just because people call things the same names, say they're made out of the same materials, that's where the similarity ends. You've got to think about experience, you've got to think about pattern making, and just consistency. Everything these days is done digitally, CNC cut, so by notch system. So we know that our output for the most part is as consistent as it ever can be, and therefore if we're getting things to fit correctly, as per these videos, this is why I do the YouTube channel, and as per the hundreds of photos from customers all over the world on our website, then it shows and proves that our parts are arguably the best fitting ones in the world. And so this is why I'm doing all of this stuff here, to try and get that message across to people, because there's this illusion within the industry that interior trim is a standardized thing and everything is everything, everything's the same, and therefore all you have to think about is price and lead time. Absolutely not. So much more to it than that. But also you've really got to consider the fact that a lot of people think you can't buy kits off the shelf that actually fit, and I would say that that is absolutely not true. They're just few and far between, and we're one of those main suppliers. So anyway, worth checking that out. Before I dive on in, let's see, we're talking about this area here. So you've got the rear seats here, you've got the cushion base, the bit your bum goes on, you've got the diff hump cover there, gearbox cover, then you've got what we call the lower backrest, and then the upper backrest, which morphs into this section here for the rear luggage area of the car there. So what we've got here, obviously, rear cushion base, diff hump, lower backrest, upper backrest, merging into rear luggage floor there. Now standardly we obviously supply just kits to retrim all of these things and just ship them all over the world, but if you are fairly local to us, either UK based or perhaps mainland Europe, and you do want us to do the work for you, then of course we can. But generally our day in day out is the manufacture and supply of these kits, and obviously with that we are happy to give help and expertise to either you or your trimmer on the best ways of getting these results and these things. Again, this is why I've done this channel, to show and prove our kits fit very well, and you just have to have the know-how. It's trimming, especially of seats, is a very organic process, meaning from one seat to the next seat, even when we're doing them in-house, it may not go the same way each time. It's an organic process, and thus there are certain, should we say, tricks to the trade and areas that you have to be mindful of, and we're more than willing to sort of give help and advice on that. And of course we've got hundreds of photos of the different processes and stages, but mostly of the final result, showing you how they're meant to look. So if things aren't turning out how they're looking in this video, then you need to be asking why, and obviously asking for help accordingly. So let's start. We've obviously got the cushion base there. This is actually from a Series 3 car, so it's got the embossed pattern on the pleats here, as you can see. Generally the Series 2s and Series 3s have that pattern on it. Series 1 and Series 1.5s were mostly plain. The spec of this is OEM spec, so as it left the factory, which is what we refer to as leather faced, but everyone else refers to as leather, meaning the majority of the seat bits that you see here are leather. Basically the bits that kind of touch your body are leather, and then the surrounds here, for example, are vinyl. The retainers that are around the back here and down here, they're vinyl, and obviously the sort of rear luggage floor area there is vinyl, but these bits here are leather. In fact, this top piece here is leather and this piece here is leather. So we refer to that as leather faced, i.e. the facings are leather. Other people refer to it as leather, not to be confused with what we call full leather, where we substitute any vinyl parts out for leather. So we do quite a few full leather kits where people want absolutely everything in leather, including all the trim panels and obviously the seats to match. So we can offer that as well. Just be mindful of the description and the confusion that can cause. Obviously the cushion base is there. Got a good bit of definition to it. It's kind of sinking in and out, much like the front seats. It has that cross seam going across it there. Obviously all of our pleats are the genuine tuck and roll pleats, so they kind of go in and out, not just stitches across there, which some of the suppliers do. Piping, leather cloth as per original spec, wear colours allow, which is the majority of them. And you can see it does kind of waterfall slightly off the edge there. It doesn't sit on the top part there. Same again on the back there. Diff pump, fairly straightforward, and it is leather. That piece there obviously sits in the middle and clips underneath. The underside of these is obviously the spring and the hessian, and it's hog ringed all the way around. Accordingly, it's just all about manipulation and tension to make sure you're getting it all correctly done there. There is an element of foam underneath there. We've actually just used skim foam and gone over the top of the original ones because they were actually in pretty decent condition, but we can supply replacement foams if they are knackered. We often sort of give open and honest, transparent advice to our customers about that. Lower backrest, again, sort of trimmed all the way around, hog ringed on, hessian on the back again. Again, it does waterfall over. We've had some people sort of comment on, well, certainly those two covers there, thinking, oh, they're too big, you know, everything's meant to be flat on top, but, you know, no, you've got to have the definition going in and out, but then it waterfalls off the front. So it's an element of really trusting our expertise and knowing that we know what we're doing with these sorts of things, and we've done absolutely thousands of these kits in the 50 years we've been making them. Then the upper backrest, you've got, again, the definition of it coming in and out. You can see here, obviously, it has a real kick out to it there. And this one isn't hog ringed, obviously, because it's a main framework element here, so it's sort of either trim clipped or glued or a combination of the two, but you want to be using a proper contact adhesive. Just while I've got this up in the air, you can see those little white marks going all the way down, and then I've written pleats. I'll refer to that shortly. It's all the elements. The crucial thing here is making sure the pleats between all of these things match up. It's impossible to mark pleats onto that framework there because of the way the frame is. This one here is pretty hard to do as well, although you can do it. You can see we've done black marks on the back there. This one here is much easier because obviously the framework there, and actually, despite the fact that this is the hardest part here, this is where you should be starting and basically work your way down. So once you've got that one set up, make sure the pleats from this one match that one, and so on, and ending finally with the cushion base there. But again, if you want some more help and advice on that, do contact me directly and we can give you some guides and photos of that element here. Also, while we're on this sort of rear seat section here, you'll see that we've done the seat runners on this section here, but not on the rest. This is at the request of the customer. We've reused the customer's ply on this one here at his request. He's actually sourcing replacement chromes because he's lost some of the ones off here and the other ones were a bit knackered. These ones here weren't in too bad a condition when we had all of them, and because of the way that this is trimmed, we kind of had to put these in place, otherwise we were going to be passing on quite a tricky job to our customer. So we sort of spoke to him about it in depth and said, look, let's get those ones in. They're in mostly decent condition. We've replaced the actual rubber elements of them in the chromes. The chromes aren't in too bad a nick, and actually when everything's said and done in the car, you can barely see the chromes anyway. He was happy with that as a workaround, and then obviously he's going to put all of the chrome works on matching up to these ones here, and that's the crucial part. You do the hardest ones first inside there and then match everything up accordingly, and then we're supplying him some extra rubbers there for him to replace when his new chromes are sorted. These brand new rubbers, and you sort of squeeze them together to put them into place. Quite actually easy on those side of things compared to other rubber elements in the car, which can be a pain. But yeah, So I think that gives a nice overall idea of it all. Just again on the trimming of this element here, these sections here take a bit of, should we say, tailoring. We actually supply fully trimmed panels for these bits here, but again, from car to car, I imagine they changed in their exact dimensions. These ones here, and I have got photos of this process, we effectively married up, made a mark on the back and actually trimmed them back slightly. They were slightly too big, not much in it. In fact, from left to right, they were slightly different sizes in the way that they were fitting in. Obviously, we've standardized the panel. We just cut a pair digitally on our CNC machines, but from left to right, they were slightly different, and that just goes to show the inconsistencies of the era of manufacture back then. And so, like I said earlier, these things aren't plug and play. They are organic. You do have to work on them, and don't assume anything going into it. So what we try to do is provide the best kits possible to achieve the best results, but it doesn't mean they're perfect. You have to work with them, and of course work with us accordingly on it. And like I say, these bits here, it was easy enough. They were slightly too big, and so as long as you do things in a logical order, you can then trim them back. It's a few minutes job to do, as opposed to trying to, should we say, custom make ones that perfectly fit your car from the start. It's going to take a lot longer than a few minutes just to trim it a little bit off. So always got to keep that in mind. Same again with these elements here. We have leather here. We actually pre-skive that down, which allows for a nice tight finish on it. The piping is pre-glued or sewn to allow you to just stick it on nice and easily. So we do our utmost to create and supply the most suitable kit, should we say, in terms of those elements of things. We're never going to say it's absolutely perfect, but it's as close as you're going to get, and it's still going to be a lot better than, say, having an independent trimmer saying, oh, I'll just make everything from scratch to fit your car exactly. It will take a lot less time and produce a lot better results for them to have to use our kits, which are 95% there, if not higher, and just tailor it back to your car, than it is for them to claim that they can do everything from scratch. We've seen it all, and honestly, that is the truth. So just really keep that in mind. It's our ethos as a business is to create the best kits possible for your restoration. We're not saying we're creating perfect, millimeter perfect kits. We're saying we're creating the best ones available on the market to enable someone with skill and patience and expertise to actually produce the best results. So just bear that in mind. That is really what we're trying to do as a business, and this, like I say, our YouTube channel is there to showcase that element of things. So yeah, hope you found that useful. Please remember to like, subscribe, make any comments below, and of course pass on to any other classic car enthusiasts out there. I look forward to hearing from you, and please remember to tune in next time. Thank you.